million miles, and it is set to get lifted off from Cape Canaveral toward the International Space Station. ABC's Vic Ratner is at his usual post at the Cape with us live. Vic?
Aaron, a crew of 6 veterans on board for Commander Steve Lindsay. It's his 5th flight. 5 million gallons of super cold liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen fuel on board, ready to go. This time around, it's an 11-day mission covering an attic full of spare parts for the International Space Station, Aaron. Some parts are too big to go on anything else but the space shuttle, and that's why they're on this mission, Aaron.
Only, what, 2, maybe 3 space shuttle missions left after this one, depending on what Congress decides to do with funding. And Vic, a big crowd is on hand, it looks like, at the Cape to watch one of these final missions.
We're told traffic is bottled up to 75 miles around there, and there's thousands of people come out to watch the final flight of Discovery. Here's the countdown.
Go for main engine start. We have main engine start. 2, 1. Booster ignition and the final liftoff of Discovery. A tribute to the dedication, hard work, and pride of America's space shuttle team. The shuttle has cleared the tower.
Discovery is up and away on her final mission, riding a tower of orange flame and white smoke up from launch pad 39 in brilliant sunshine. Commander Steve Lindsay and his crew, all veterans, planning an 11-day space mission. Discovery climbs right into the Florida sky. Straight up into a blue sky above me. Discovery, the shuttle that put the Hubble Space Telescope into orbit, the first shuttle to fly after the Challenger disaster, the leader of the fleet. Commander Steve Lindsay set the majesty and power of Discovery on view one more time. There it is. Climbing now up toward the East Coast, it will pass Jacksonville, Savannah, Georgia, Norfolk, Virginia on its way to orbit. After a 2-day chase across the skies, NASA plans to have Discovery link up with the International Space Station 200 miles above the Earth.
Acknowledging the call from Captain
ABC's Vic Ratner live at the Kennedy Space Center, and Space Shuttle Discovery is on its way to the International Space Station. You're listening to live coverage from ABC News. Watching at Mission Control is ABC's Bob Woodruff. Bob?
Well, Aaron, this has been, I guess, in many ways, the one
Mission specialist
most
Mike
nervous
Barrett
of that moment when it's taking off. They're, of course, a little bit calmer now as we go on. It's remarkable what they're looking for to make sure this is safe. As it's about to take off, the engine sensors, the computers, you got about 20,000 parameters to make sure that the temperature is right, the wind is not blowing too hard, the voltage is right, and also if there's boats that are floating in the water down there, they could be underneath if something falls. But now they've got this through. Now they're on to the next step.
ABC's Bob Woodruff with a unique perspective, the only reporter ever allowed into Mission Control during a launch, and still watching the developments from Cape Canaveral is ABC's Vic Ratner. Vic?
And we can still see it in a beautiful blue Florida sky. It's a bright pinprick light. 2 minutes into the flight, the 2 rocket boosters that have done the job of kicking Space Shuttle Discovery up into the sky at first drop away. After 2.5 minutes, Discovery's 3 main engines will continue to fire to push the spacecraft into orbit.
53 miles.
The count from Houston Mission Control.
Twin orbital maneuvering system engines on either side of the shuttle's tail. These 2 engines will burn for 2 minutes and 32 seconds.
Your 2-engine TAL. We do have updates to your no-com mode.
Back in their seats now, and as the booster rockets fall away and the main engines continue to push Discovery higher and higher. This is the point where Discovery starts to move faster and faster. It's got to get to 17,000 miles an hour by the time they get to orbit, Aaron.
ABC's Vic Ratner with us live from Kennedy Space Center, where Shuttle Discovery has blasted off for the International Space Station. Its final mission, the 39th flight, NASA's most traveled and oldest surviving shuttle. I'm Aaron Katersky. You've been listening to live coverage from ABC News.
We're all live in the WDBO News Center, where, of course, thousands of space fans were along the coast, and we'll have an update for you. We'll check on all the stories coming ahead in 3 minutes on News Talk AM 5.
Success. And on News Talk AM 5.